What we do, we mix those nutrients inside a container, which is it's 1,000 liter container. We mix the nutrients there. Then through gravity, we release them into the pipes now. The pipes you are seeing here. There's a delivery system which brings the nutrients into the pipes the big pipes where we have planted our crops. Now the nutrients will move with water from one side to another, carrying the nutrients for about 10 to 15 minutes. During this 10 to 15 minutes, our crops inside the cups will be able to absorb the nutrients and utilize them for growth. We do it 3 times a day, in the morning, during lunchtime, and in the evening.
Do you normally offer trainings here as well?
Yes, we train students. Like now, we have students doing classes on the other side. Yeah, we want to furnish them with this information so that when they are going back at home, they can do something to put some coin in the pocket.
So aside from this, I really want to see the other ones and the crops you've adopted there.
Yes, we can go to the other greenhouse. We see the other crops that we have grown there.
Okay, let's go. Allah, iko na carpet.
Yes, there's a reason why we have carpeted this greenhouse. If you remember, this time I told you we are doing some trainings, so we like our greenhouse to look better inside than outside. Another reason why we are doing this, when we are harvesting, we don't want our produce to be contaminated. So that's a reason why we are doing the carpet.
Wow.
And for easy cleaning, if you want to sweep here, you can sweep. But the other greenhouses, you cannot sweep.
This is really beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm just looking at this and I'm getting chills. This is the trough system, and also the crops that you have here are the climbing crops as opposed to the ones that you could see them in a lower level. So Onesmus, tell us more about this trough system.
Okay, on the other side, we are doing short crops, but on this side, we are doing taller crops. Like if you can check that side, we have a cucumber, we have capsicum, which can grow as tall as me. We also have tomatoes here, which are tall. Also, in this greenhouse, we have a trellising system already in place. Like now, we have the support system. On the other greenhouse, we don't. So we prefer doing these crops here, so that when we are trellising them, it becomes easier for us, and the cost we can minimize. So this greenhouse is specifically for the taller crops.
Onesmus, since I see here, there is cucumber and tomatoes only, can you grow any other climbing crops together here?
Yeah, other crops can be grown. The other climbing crops can be grown. But the reason why we are doing this ones in the greenhouse is because of the value. Like now the value of cucumber is higher. A kilo fetches good in the market. Same thing to colored capsicum and same thing to tomatoes. We also have by the way, eggplant here. We have eggplant here which we are doing inside the greenhouse. So other crops can be grown depending on the value.
Yeah, so if you compare between yours and someone who's doing it in open field, yours is quite high value.
When we are growing inside the greenhouses, there's an advantage you have over somebody who is growing outside. Advantage number 1, pests and diseases. We can control them. Number 2, you can minimize the pesticides and fungicides you are using. Number 3, you can minimize the amount of water and the nutrients you are doing. Number 4, fast growth of crops. These crops are like 35 days old after transplanting the seedlings. The same thing to these ones. They are like 35 days old. If you do the same outside, we could not be here. Because if you look closely, we have some cucumber which we will be harvesting in 2 weeks. The last advantage of the greenhouse is now that we have minimized the pests and diseases, where when we are selling these crops, we'll sell them to high-end markets. Like now, we have a supermarkets, high-end markets in Kenya, so they fetch more compared to somebody who has planted outside. And there's something like uniformity in ripening, in size. Yeah, So that's an advantage.
Allow me to take you back just a little bit, because you've talked about minimizing pests and diseases, but I'm curious to know which pests and diseases do you normally control here? Does it affect you? And what are the measures that you've put in place to curb that?
The reason why the greenhouse is assisting us to protect the crops inside against the pests and diseases that can move. Like now we have a shade net there, which can only allow maybe the small insects. Number two, those are precautions which we take. Number two, precaution we take, we have traps. Like now we have one for whiteflies, another one for thrips, and another one for tuta absoluta. So what we do, we want to minimize the use of pests and diseases. When we are coming inside, we are trying to manage hygiene. Actually, the first thing when you come into the greenhouse, you open and close. Then we always discourage people from coming from another greenhouse or a farm to another farm, because you are likely to carry some pests and bring them inside. So we are trying to do hygiene, field hygiene, to minimize the pests and diseases. We also, using this system, if you are keen, you can observe there are no weeds. As compared to the other system, we don't have anything like weeds inside here. So we have minimized the cost of weeding. We do sprays when necessary. Like now, we have not done, we just did once. We did spray once. And if we are doing a spray, we do foliar spray to feed the crops from the leaves, probably when there's deficiency. So the cost of pests and diseases, we have minimized. We have cut cost.
I just love the way you've utilized the space here, and I want to know this line, perhaps this line for cucumber that you have here. What are your projection or your expectations when you harvest? Because I see it's just one line.
Okay, thank you. We are doing this one professionally, but the reason why we are doing bit by bit is because we are doing training, so that whoever comes in can be trained how we are doing cucumber, capsicum, eggplant, and tomatoes. But our projection is each plant should give us 20 kilos by the time it dies. All that's like in 3 or 4 months. So we are likely to get a maximum of 20 kilos from one crop, and we have about 200 crops. So we need to get like 8,000 kilos, if my math is good from this section. Same thing to capsicum, eggplant, and tomatoes.
And is it a good practice to do intercropping? Because I see right here you have so many crops in one greenhouse. Is it a good practice?
Okay, we don't encourage that one. We are only doing this one for the case of demonstration. As we told you early, we are going to go large scale from next month. I think the next time you are visiting us, you are going to find a greenhouse with cucumber only, a greenhouse with capsicum. For now, we are doing this one for demonstration and for training. Yeah, but it's not a good habit to intercrop the crops. Yeah, because if you have a problem in one crop, you might be required to spray a chemical which the other one does not need. Yeah, so you have to pick in, when you are doing this, you have to pick in to avoid pests and diseases. That's why we are taking precautions. Thank
you so much, Onesimus. I've learned so much. In this show, we've done hydroponics before, but this one was quite a game changer. Thank you so much, Onesimus. We truly appreciate, and I've learned so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Wow. And thank you for being part of the show. Tell me you loved the show. I loved it myself because I've learned so much. This is a different technique where you practice hydroponics in a greenhouse with different varieties of crops. You've seen the climbing crops. You've seen the other crops that can be grown in the trough. So this must be a good show and good for you to try this as well in your greenhouse or in your backyard. It's a simple setup, and you can use also locally available containers like your yogurt containers. You can also make this thing, you can make your hydroponic system in your own home. So thank you so much for being part of the show. My name is Linda Koskei. See you again next week for yet another amazing show of Kilimo na Biashara.
Wapwani mpo? Kilifi na Kwale tumewasili. Sasa unaweza burudika na Star Times DTT kila maeneo ya miji ya Kilifi na Kwale. Tumbuika na vipindi kemkem vya kusisimua katika station yetu mpya ya Rainbow TV Plus kuanzia Julai tarehe 1. Rainbow TV Plus, kina cha burudani. Wasiliana na customer care yako nambari 0719 077 077 hivi leo. Upate taarifa zaidi pa kununua DTT Star Times decoder. Uenjoy zaidi ya channel 75